Good morning, students. To continue with Chapter 1 Power Sharing, today we are going to study about how leaders in Belgium accommodated the regional differences and cultural diversities. So, between 1970 and 1993, they amended their constitution 4 times so as to work out an arrangement that would enable everyone to live together within the same country. The arrangement they worked out is different from other countries and is very innovative. So, the main elements of the Belgium model are: number one, for central government, the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal. Some special law requires the support of majority of members from each linguistic group. Thus, no single community can make decisions. Second, many powers of the central government were taken and given to state government in reality, and state governments are no longer subordinate to central government. Third, in capital city Brussels, there is separate government in which both the communities have equal representation. The French speaking people accepted equal representation in Brussels because the Dutch speaking community has accepted the equal representation in central government. Number 4, apart from central and state government, there is third kind of government known as community government, and it is elected by people belonging to the one language community, that is Dutch, French and German speaking, no matter where they live. This government has the powers regarding cultural, educational and language related issues. So, Belgium model is indeed very complicated, but these arrangements have worked well so far. They help in avoiding any type of conflicts and a possible division of country on linguistic line. So when there was a formation of European Union, Brussels was selected as its headquarters. In this way, the Belgium became the model in front of entire world. If we compare Sri Lanka and Belgium, both are democracies, but they dealt with the question of power sharing differently. In Belgium, the leaders realized that if they want to maintain the unity of a country, then it is important to give respect to the feelings and interest of other communities also. And such a realization resulted in a very good power sharing arrangement. On the other hand, in Sri Lanka, the majority community was not ready to accommodate diversity, so it led to the civil war and it undermined the unity of the country. Now, question arises: why is power sharing desirable? There are two reasons in the favor of power sharing. One is prudential reason, second is moral reason. Prudential means which are based on careful calculations of gains and loss. Prudential reason stress that power sharing will bring out better outcomes in a country. So, power sharing is considered goods because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflicts between social groups. Since social conflicts often lead to violence and political instability, so power sharing is a good way to ensure the stability of political order. Imposing the will of majority community over other may look like an attractive option in the short run, but in the long run, it undermines the unity of a nation. So that is why power sharing is desirable. Moral reason emphasize the very act of power sharing as valuable. Power sharing is very spirit of democracy. A democratic rule involves sharing power with those who are affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effects. So people have a right to be consulted on how they are to be governed because a legitimate government, that is, people's own government, is one where citizens participate in decision making. So that is why power sharing is desirable. Thank you, students. Have a nice day.